for the best in Sooner football recruiting news? Then it's time to get locked in with Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Whether you're a recruiting doomer or sunshine pumper, text the guys on the First Liberty Bank text line at 405-651-3439. And call your shot on the Riverwind Casino jackpot line at 405-329-9000.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Grayson, I'd like to open today's show by relating an account of what I call a transcendent American experience. And I had one of them yesterday in the great state of Arkansas.
All right, what you got for me?
And here's the thing. A transcendent American experience is one of those things that you know it when you experience it. It's one of those things where in the moment you start to feel like, wow, only in the great US of A would I be able to experience this, to feel what I am feeling right now.
There's a lot of things on a very wide spectrum that could fall into that category.
Yes, indeed. It is broad.
Good and bad.
It is broad, certainly. However, yesterday, while in the state of Arkansas, I had what I would consider to be a transcendent American experience. We live in the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, and if you're even tempted to dispute that, get your keister on the first Greyhound bus to Canada and stay the hell there, all right? But that aside, I went to Arkansas yesterday to see Sam Nelson, Oklahoma edge commit. That was the primary objective. I did the show yesterday, as I mentioned, from the parking lot of a Walmart in Alma, Arkansas. And thereafter, when I made the remaining 2-hour trek to Little Rock, at some point along the way, I stopped for an early dinner. It was about 4:45. And when I got into the greater Little Rock area and had to pick where I was going to eat dinner, I chose an establishment known as David's Burgers. Now, David's Burgers is a chain, but it's a hyper-local chain. There are probably 10 or so locations, and they're only in Arkansas. It is just an Arkansas thing. And it was actually a former Sooner, Marcus Wimberly, that put me on to David's Burgers when I was out in Bauxite, Arkansas a couple years back, meeting with Wimberly and his family when he was committed to Oklahoma. He's now at Utah, only lasted a year at OU, never appeared in a game. But Marcus Wimberly gets credit for putting me on to David's Burgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd only eaten there once before. Brian Clinton and I, my old colleague Brian Clinton and I, stopped out there on our way to the Auburn game in 2024. And, we had to eat fast, couldn't really appreciate it. But I had a little bit of time on my hands before Sam Nelson's scrimmage last night. And so I walked into David's Burgers, and I decided to sit down and eat. Now, here's what happens. You walk into David's Burgers, and it's kind of an old-school vibe. They've got the red and white booths that look like they're straight out of the 60s. It's like stepping back in time because you combine that with an old-style physical menu that's not a screen, but it's actually like a board that's posted up with things written on it.
Uh-huh.
And they're playing old-time rock music, like very early, the very early stages of rock music, the Chuck Berry and, who else were kind of the foundational figures in rock music? Drake Dykin. Little Richard? Fats Domino? Yeah, exactly. Guys out of that area, late 50s, early 60s, they're playing early rock. And so it's got a very old-time vibe, Grayson. And you walk in, and you place your order. And this is how you do a burger the PT way, all right? This is how I order a burger. I'm a single patty guy. I've kind of cooled over the years on double patty burgers. And before some hyper-masculine Okie from Muskogee gets on the text line and says, there ain't no such thing as too much meat on a burger, I like to be able to taste other things when I take a bite of a burger other than beef. I'm not one of y'all that just puts ketchup on my burger and that's it. So I get it with lettuce. You got to have that crunch. Tomato, got to have your iron. As far as cheese goes, I'm partial to good old standard yellow American government cheese. That's as good as it gets. Grilled onions, because and there's nothing wrong with doing a raw.
Pause. Hey, whoa.
If you want to do raw onions, you can. But if I have the choice between raw onions and grilled onions, I'm going grilled every time. Got to throw some bacon on there. I like mustard on my burger, so this is what I order. And when you place your order, they hand you a little tag with a number on it so they know who to bring the food to. And they do bring it out to you in the restaurant. So they hand you this tag, and they hand you a piece of checkerboard wax paper. You might think that's kind of odd. Why am I holding a square of checkerboard wax paper? So I go and sit down, and, I fill up my glass with tea. I get my half and half tea. And I set this little square of wax paper on my table because I don't really know what else to do with it. Well, come to find out, they bring out fries in these giant, giant bowls. They have these giant bowls that their employees will walk around with, and they have a pair of tongs. And before they bring you your food, they will whet your appetite by placing a small order of fries on this square of wax paper. And I kid you not, Grayson, they are the best fries I've ever had. I mean, bar none, they blow every other fry away. And then they bring the burger out, and that sucker, man, it tastes like it was made in heaven's kitchen. I don't know what they season it with, but man, however they season that burger patty, it tastes exceptional. Everything's fresh. All the veggies are fresh. The onions are grilled fresh. The buns are fresh. And then as you're eating, they bring out these little cups of ice cream, completely free of charge. It's kind of like your standard drive-in ice cream. Nothing special, but very tasty. And they bring out these little cups, and they'll just hand one to you. And that's how you can cap off your meal. And you can get a bigger serving of ice cream. You have to pay for it, obviously. You have to go back up to the counter and order it. But if you just want a little bit of something sweet to wrap up your meal, they'll give you these maybe 1-ounce cups of ice cream, like not much more than the size of one of those cups that you would put ketchup in if you wanted to dip your fries. But that's it, man. That is the David's Burgers experience. And from start to finish yesterday, I felt blessed. I felt the Lord smiling down on me as I sat in David's Burgers. I was like, this is what it means to be American, is it not? This is perfection.
I would say burgers is a tenet of being American. I would say so. How much all this cost you, by the way?
It was like $14.
Oh, shoot. That ain't bad.
Yeah, not bad.
No, that ain't bad at all.
Not bad. A 405 listener says, that's exaggerating. The fries are okay. I didn't eat all day, huh? Well, I had eaten actually not long before that, but their fries are exceptional. They've won best fries in the state of Arkansas like 10 years running, and I see why. Because the fries are excellent. Maybe you don't agree. If you've had the David's experience, the couple experiences that I've had there, oh boy. I'm not a big fries guy either. I could eat those and eat those and eat those all day.
I don't know when the next time is I'll be in Arkansas, but I might have to try that.
Hey, Gator, quit well-actuallying me, okay? Gator got on the First Liberty Bank text line 405-651-3439 and said, probably need about a dozen whole tomatoes to get a measurable amount of iron from them. A slice on a burger is performative. Well, actually, you're not getting that much iron from the tomato slice. Shut up, Gator. I love you, Gator. Nothing personal. But come on, don't be well-actually, guy, when I'm relaying an account of a transcendent American experience.
A texter in the 469 state of Texas says, I was listening to you guys last Friday, heard that you, Grayson, are from Wiley, ? If I heard correctly, I reside in Rockwall, originally from Weatherford, Oklahoma. I am from Wiley. Guy who wants to be known as Chieftain Sooner, by the way. Yes, I am from Wiley. And Rockwall, yeah, right down the street, man. Me and my friends used to kick it at the harbor every now and then. Glad to see you're in my neck of the woods, homie.
BFC, Bob from Cement says, sounds like Parker's going a little liberal with the lettuce. Glad he didn't have problems. I only recently became a lettuce guy on burgers. It's more of a texture thing than anything else. You got to have that little crunch.
I've always been a lettuce guy on burgers. I just don't like the overwhelming lettuce. You know, like some restaurants will put like a massive piece of lettuce on a burger. That's where I draw the line. But I've always been lettuce on burgers.
Yeah.
And onions and tomatoes.
I know we're probably going to have a lot of listeners. Like, Gator was rage baiting me. I figured he was.
Oh, he definitely was.
But we have a lot of listeners because it's kind of an Oklahoma thing where people just eat their burgers plain with bacon and maybe ketchup. Not me, man. I like to taste a little bit of everything on my burger. I wasn't always that way. I mean, when I was a kid, I would eat very plain burgers. But in my adult years, I've developed an appreciation for all of the textures and flavors that exist within a well-made hamburger. Chonky Chuck said, got to watch out for that diarrhea lettuce, Parker.
Mm-hmm.
No cyclospora in the state of Arkansas, as far as I'm aware. Arkansas is generally one of the last places such things tend to materialize.
Yeah. You've said about 5 things in the last 11 minutes or so that if taken out of context, I could clip and put in a segment. It would be like, what the hell is Parker on?
Oh, I have no doubt. That's just kind of par for the course on this show.
Blake from Wasso says, nothing better than doing it raw, Parker.
Okay. Nope. I was talking about onions, Blake. I was talking about onions.
Sure about that?
Quite sure. Tinfoil Hat Man said, Parker just proved vegans aren't American. If you can't enjoy a good cheeseburger, you can't enjoy a good cheeseburger and fries and a glass of tea, how American are you? Because you ain't as American as me. That's for darn sure. So, yeah, Grayson, that was Arkansas. That was David's Burgers. I will be returning.
Okay.
Next time we go through the state of Arkansas, I mean, that is the dinner stop, the lunch stop, whatever. I have a reason to eat at David's Burgers. I will eat at David's Burgers, especially because it's kind of like the Chick-fil-A of Arkansas in the sense that they're all just very nice people and go over the top to make sure the service is exceptional. So in many ways, it's like a hyper-local burger version of Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A before they went corporate, that is.
What do you mean before they went corporate?
Chick-fil-A 20 years ago compared to Chick-fil-A now, two very different animals.
What's the difference? No, I'm being legit here.
How long have you been eating Chick-fil-A?
My whole life.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't noticed any evolution over the years in terms of just the quality and
of the food, or are we talking about something else?
Everything.
No, I just pay attention to the food. The food is just fine to me.
Now, I will say, our friends over at the 12th Avenue Chick-fil-A still do it right. But Chick-fil-A is not one of those places where you can stop the way you used to be able to pretty much any way you were and count on the exact same quality of food and the exact same quality of service because Chick-fil-A, they've taken a few steps down.
Well, the service is different, but I mean, you're also dealing with human beings.
That is true.
General Booty's lieutenant, I'm not reading that.
What did he say? Okay. Yep. Oh, man. I really got this show off track right from the jump, huh?
Texter in the 402, that's a really good text. Also not reading that.
Jay in Tulsa said, Parker, you could have gone a lot of different directions with the phrase quintessential American experience in Arkansas. Listen, I don't know why y'all are in such a tawdry mood on this Wednesday. Is it Wednesday or is it Thursday? I don't know. I've lost track of what day it is, man. I'm really tired.
Wait, what day is it actually?
It's Wednesday.
Okay, good.
It is Wednesday. Because Steely, the only reason I was able to retain that information was because Steely made the mistake of calling today Thursday earlier today and quickly corrected himself and said, no, it's actually Wednesday. I was up until 3 a.m. last night driving back from Arkansas. So I'm in a little bit of a different headspace today. Brain's a little bit foggy. It's probably why we spent the whole first segment talking about burgers.
So what do we need to know about Jonathan Hatton today? That is our YouTube title today.
I mean, Jonathan Hatton is really good. That's what it boils down to. Jonathan Hatton is very quickly emerging as a guy that's probably going to seize the bull by the horns in Oklahoma's backfield before too long.
I was thinking about this when I saw that you put this on the thumbnail for today. Did Jonathan Hatton come up in the right time, and is he going to be draft eligible in the right time? And here's what I mean by that. We're now back to drafting running backs in the first round. 2 of them went in the first round this year. And we're also back to paying running backs a second contract. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs reset the running back market this offseason just recently. Jonathan Taylor has been paid a couple of times. Saquon got paid. It seems like the cyclical nature of the NFL has come back around to running back to where I look at a guy like Jonathan Hatton, and if he pans out at Oklahoma the way his recruiting celebrity, the way his recruiting ratings, and what we're talking about now as it pertains to him, if all of that comes to fruition, he might have been born at just the right time, man, because it seems as if the football world, especially at the NFL level, is coming back to respecting the running back. And a guy his size, with his skill set, it might be a dude who came up in the right time, and he might make himself some cash if all goes to plan.
Do you think we're ever going to see the return of the fullback? Do you think the fullback is ever going to become a regular part of the offense again?
No, I don't think it will become a regularity, but I mean, certain teams have it, like Kyle Juszczyk is used with the 49ers. The Cowboys sparingly use Hunter Lipke, and I think there's a couple others. I don't think it will become an every team thing. The Broncos use it. They call it the Joker position. But I think it'll hang around.
Everything in sports is cyclical, right?
Almost.
And I think what you're seeing is over the last few years in particular, there is kind of a pendulum swing that's occurring away from the high-octane, speed-driven spread offense to more straight-ahead, traditional, power football. And the fullback hasn't completely lost its place and never did, but a lot of teams don't even bother to roster a fullback anymore. A guy like Jonathan Hatton, though, can't you just imagine that dude wreaking havoc, whether collegiately or in professional football, running out of the I formation behind a bruising fullback? I mean, that's what a guy like that is cut out for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he came out of the womb ready to do, is just bowl dudes over behind a Mike Allstott or a Heath Evans or, I don't know, pick your devastating fullback of years gone by, Lorenzo Neal.
It's a good one.
Just run it straight down the defense's throat. But then you factor into the equation the reality that Jonathan Hatton is one of the fastest football players on Oklahoma's entire roster. And I think what that makes clear is he's not a one-dimensional guy. He's not a one-trick pony. He's not somebody that just has to go between the tackles and he's going to thrive on absorbing contact and driving through it and doing the 3 yards in the cloud of dust thing. No, this is a guy that can hit home runs and has big play potential.
And that's ultimately, too, to get paid, that's what you got to be able to do. Like, you can't just be big and I'm going to chew up, 4 yards a carry. Like, even though that's great, you look at the guys that I named that have been getting paid, the Jonathan Taylors, the Bijans, the Jahmyr Gibbs of the world, Saquon. You got to be able to house it every now and then. Like, you got to be able to be, not that they use this, but you got to be a good fantasy football dude. There's a correlation there as well, even though indirectly. But you got to be able to hit those home run plays. And if you can combine that with that type of size, because think of what Jonathan Hatton could potentially be playing at in the NFL. If he's in his freshman year and he's 6'1", 230 pounds, like, that could be a once-in-a-lifetime type of a beast if he puts on 10 more pounds and retains the speed. That's some wild stuff.
Blake from Wausau on the text line added, bold take. Not saying he's like Joe Mixon, but Hatton will be OU's best back since Joe Mixon. And you know what? I could buy that.
Haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since Eric Gray.
That's correct. And I mean, just based on raw talent, sheer ability, Jonathan Hatton's a more impressive football player than Kennedy Brooks or Eric Gray were. And both of those guys had outstanding collegiate careers. No knock on those guys, but consider what Jonathan Hatton is physically capable of doing alongside what those guys were physically capable of doing. he's just got some stuff, and it kind of goes back to the whole comparison between him and the rest of the Oklahoma running back room. There are some good runners in that Oklahoma backfield. There's some talented ball players. But none of them quite have what Jonathan Hatton has. Every so often you get a guy that's just a little bit different, and that is a guy that's just a little bit different. All right, one segment down here on Locked In on this Wednesday. It's Wednesday. That is the day. Gosh, man, 405-651-3439. That's the First Liberty Bank text line. I need a nap, but not until we make it through another invigorating 40 minutes of exceptional radio. Here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Stay with us.
Locked In is brought to you every day by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. Dorsey Jones GMC is family-owned and operated with a knowledgeable, low-pressure sales staff here to help you through the buying process and half-price oil changes on Saturdays. Visit dorsey-jonesgmc.com for more information.
This is Mark Van Hoos, owner of Van Hoos Fence. Van Hoos Fence has years of experience and proven superior performance, kind of like a certain head ball coach.
We know Van Hoos Fence offers the best value and service for your residential, commercial, or sports fencing needs. Whether it's a new install or repair work, let Mark and his team at Van Hoos Fence be your trusted resource.
Call us today at 405-735-1167.
Save yourself from Googling it up. Go to vhfence.com. They will work with you in a great way.
Hey, Ref Army, Dorinoka here. Can you feel it? OU football's right around the corner. The lights at Owen Field. The pride of Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner echoing through the stadium. It's almost time. And if you need tickets for OU football, the Red River rivalry in Dallas, Thunder basketball, or the biggest concerts coming to Oklahoma, call my guy Fletch. Mike Fletcher at Totally Tickets. They're locally owned by a proud Sooner, so support local and visit TotallyTickets.com.
Whether you're from out of town or a lifelong Normanite, Visit Norman encourages you to shop, eat, and play local this summer. Since 1976, the Mont has been serving up Norman favorites, the legendary Sooner Swirl, mouth-watering chips and queso, and unforgettable nights on the patio. Meet your friends at the corner of Boyd and Classen and enjoy a true Norman tradition at the Mont. Transform your home at Wonder House. They specialize in custom window treatments, outdoor screens, and expert upholstery tailored to your lifestyle. Discover an outstanding selection of designer and performance fabric at Wonder House, beautifully tailored for the way you live. And keep the fun moving at the Young Family Athletic Center. Dive into exciting water adventures at Westwood Aquatics and spend a great day on the course at Westwood Golf Course. There's something for every member of the family. Keep the good times rolling in Norman all summer when you eat, shop, and play local. For 80 years, Norman Regional has been here through the first breaths and second chances, through the moments that matter most. 8 decades of compassionate care for Norman, Moore, Purcell, and communities across South Central Oklahoma. Neighbors caring for neighbors. That's always been our promise. This year, we celebrate the heroes who show up every single day and a community that has trusted us to be here for them. Norman Regional Health System, 80 years of personalized care, compassion, and excellence. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Hey there, Ref Army, it's Dorinoka, name coming up. Host of the Dorinoka Show and lead anchor of the SEC Network. Catch Josh Helmer and myself every weekday, 9 to noon, as we'll talk everything OU and the SEC. No better way to listen to us, 9 to noon, than by downloading the KREF app, powered by Warren Cat. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store, search for KREF, and you'll never miss a show, no matter what, no matter where you go. That's the KREF app, presented by Warren Cat. Whatever the job, whatever it takes.
Looking for one of the best burgers in Norman? Pull into the Garage, where everything's made fresh and the beers are always cold. From onion burgers and tacos to loaded fries and rat hour every day from 3 to 6. The Garage, fast, fresh, and full of flavor. The Garage, burgers, beers, and more.
Tune in every Friday to hear more about the Hal Smith Restaurant Group during The Rush and the Dorinoka Show on The Ref.
Stay road trip ready during the Honda Summer Event at Eskridge Honda. Receive $2,500 off MSRP on all new 2026 Honda Odyssey EXLs or new 2026 Ridgeline RTLs. Plus, get 90 days no payment on every new Honda in stock. Save thousands today at 89th and I-35 or online at eskridgehonda.com.
Stock numbers 260765 and 260755. Dealer discount only, not contingent with Honda incentives. WAC through HFS expires 9/8/26.
Okay, quick aside here. I mean, I would categorize this as jaw-dropping news on the OU basketball front. The Sooners just landed a double-double guy for their final roster spot. And not just a double-double guy from, like, University of the Pacific or whatever. No, they got a double-double guy from Villanova. Duke Brennan has committed to Oklahoma, according to Joe Tipton of On3. 6'10", senior with 1 year eligibility left, averaged 12 points and 10 rebounds a game last season. Okay, Porter Moser. I mean, that right there, I would say, throw timeline out the window as far as like when this all came together and this being the final addition to Oklahoma's roster for the season ahead. This might be the biggest portal acquisition of the entire offseason. You could make a case this is the biggest portal acquisition of the Porter Moser era because, man, like this is the type of guy Oklahoma hasn't had, like has conspicuously lacked. What has the bugaboo been for Moser's teams?
Yeah,
over his 5 years at Oklahoma, they just
pretty slight inside.
They don't have a dude down low. They got Jags for the most part. Tanner Groves, Mo Wagi, whoever, like John Hughley back in the day, a couple of years ago. Oklahoma hasn't had a serious, formidable center for the entirety of the time that Moser has been the head coach. Now you got two of them.
Yeah.
Akolda Gak, who played pro ball in the Washington Wizards organization. And so, like, who knows? Who knows how good he can be? He's talented. He's athletic, undeniably. But what a guy like Duke Brennan brings to the table is proven production at the highest level.
Yeah.
At a school like Villanova, you're averaging a double-double. You're a dang good college basketball player.
Yeah, I mean, averaging a double-double on 66% from the field as well. And the thing that he brings that is a little bit more so than Wagi is that, A, he's a better rebounder, and B, he's a lot more coordinated than Wagi is as well. So that can show up in a myriad of different ways. He obviously can screen and roll very well. Not much of a jumper from what I'm watching right now. So I don't know if he's a floor stretcher in that regard, but he's a guy that can be good in your screen game. And that means he probably can defend without fouling as well. And if you can get some bigs that can defend and not get into foul trouble, that also is something that they haven't had in a little bit. But the big takeaway from this is Oklahoma basketball is the winner of the injunction that allows fifth-year players to come back.
I would say so.
I mean, it's getting Duke Brennan and obviously B.J. Edwards to complete their team. That is huge for Oklahoma. And you look at the totality of the roster. I don't know if it's a great roster. I don't know. They seem like they have a lot of decent to good players. I don't know if they have anybody that's fantastic. So I'm not going to say, oh, Oklahoma's going to be in the top 6 in the SEC. But they have a complete roster. They have a complete roster of a lot of pieces that fit together. They've got outside shooting. They've got 3-and-D guys. They're switchable on the defensive end, and now they're more coordinated and I think a little bit more stout on the interior. They've done a bang-up job putting this team together. We just have to see how it all plays out.
Porter Moser, you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. I am intrigued by the potential.
Sure.
For the basketball program at the illustrious University of Oklahoma in the 26-27 season. Much more than I was when I woke up this morning with the addition of Duke Brennan. Huge pull for Moser and crew. Huge pull. Jim in Arlington with an interesting question. Parker, how does media availability work? Is it just random, or do members of the media request certain players? Yes, we always request certain players. Some we get, some we don't. but generally whenever we have an availability, we'll hear from anywhere from 4 to 8 players. It's usually 5 or 6. Usually 5 or 6 players that we get per availability. But yes, those are guys that are requested by the media throughout the week. And we don't get everybody we want, but Mike Houck and the folks over at OU are generally pretty good about getting us most of the guys that we request to speak with. And the players obviously have to say yes as well. Like Xavier Robinson, he met with the media yesterday. He didn't meet with the media at all in 2025. It was the first Xavier Robinson had gone on the record since the end of the 2024 season, and that wasn't because we didn't request him last year, because we certainly did. He just didn't want to talk. And so the players got to be cool with it. The communication staff has got to be cool with it, but as long as they are, we get to talk to pretty much whoever we request. And, you know, any given week, there's going to be a bunch of names on the short list that make a lot of sense, that fans are eager to hear from based on what's in the news cycle. I don't think we'll get Noah Best this week because I think they're trying to keep us away from freshmen, which generally that's where things get a little bit spotty, is when you're requesting freshmen. It's very seldom that they will follow through on those requests, and it used to be the policy, at least when Lincoln Riley was the head coach, that you couldn't talk to freshmen at all.
There's a couple of schools that do that too.
But, yeah, naturally, I mean, we've requested Noah Best and Jonathan Hatton this week. Would love to talk to both of those guys. Who knows whether it'll happen or not, but, you know, just to pick one example, if we request to talk to Hayden Hansen, we will get to talk to Hayden Hansen 95% of the time.
TK Sooner says, I just saw where Alabama and Tennessee are going to pull the USC UCLA and wear both home unis during their game this year. Those colors are fairly close. I say this because my junior year in high school, our quarterback was colorblind. During baseball season, we traded his, which I don't know how that conceptually works, but okay. During baseball season, we traded his orange socks out for bright pink socks as a joke, and he couldn't tell the difference. What about the colorblind community? Now, before we answer the colorblind community question, I got to say this too. Y'all are some tools. Messing with your quarterback socks.
You made him go out there in bright pink socks?
Y'all some a-holes for that, man.
Good grief. That's wild.
Did you like that? Did you hear that Alabama and Tennessee are both going to wear their home uniforms?
I did see that, and I'll tell you what, I think it's been noted on Twitter as well, but if Oklahoma was going to do this with any of their opponents, there is one opponent that they absolutely should do it with this year.
Michigan.
No.
Okay.
New Mexico, because they wear the turquoise.
Oh, that's right, they do.
Crimson on turquoise, that would be a look.
I still think they should do it with Michigan, though.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah.
Or,
I think those. It'd be hard, and I don't know how color blindness works either. I feel like it would be hard to conflate the Oklahoma crimson with the Michigan maize and blue, even regardless of what type of color blindness you have. Like, those two colors would be difficult to confuse. I don't know that there would be a ton of crossover there.
You ever play Mario Kart growing up?
I did play Mario Kart sporadically growing up.
Oh, man. So you didn't have, like, your DS and playing Mario Kart?
No. We didn't own Mario Kart. When I played Mario Kart, it was with friends.
Interesting. Okay, anyway, where I was going with that is I had a buddy of mine, my next-door neighbor growing up was colorblind. And when we would play Mario Kart together, we would have to tell him whether he had a green shell or a red shell that was loaded up because he just couldn't see.
Jason M. says, colorblind here, and I can tell the difference between pink and orange fairly easily. Yeah, Jason, but there are different types of colorblindness.
Right.
There's, like, red-green colorblindness, just to pick one. Like, there are several different varieties of colorblindness that make you blind to one particular color or hue. It does not, as Brad from Mustang noted, it doesn't just mean that you see in black and white. It means certain shades of colors are interpreted differently by the brain.
I also agree with Switzer's mink coat on this. They should wear their home crimson against Florida.
Oh, yeah, because Florida's going all blue?
Because Florida's going the blue out that night.
I can never get on board with doing anything that would take Oklahoma out of the road whites when they're on the road, because I think that is absolutely one of the cleanest, most perfect uniform looks in the country. Oklahoma's road whites are my favorite uniforms of theirs. Pristine. Beautiful. Turban Meyer says, colorblind checking in. Michigan, fine. New Mexico would not be watchable. Oh, okay. Well, I take it all back then. Turban Meyer would not be able to tell the difference between the Sooners and the Lobos. So, all right, got to strike that one. Nix that.
Tattoo Baker says, Grayson, what's your real deficiency? What kind of question is that?
General Booty's lieutenant said, I'm also colorblind. Both Grayson and Parker are the same shade of human in my eyes.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
Jesse G, yeah, no, the road units are our best look. Keep those whites in Michigan. Agree. I always want Oklahoma wearing the road whites when they're on the road. Best uniforms that the Sooners have. A 405 listener asked, is it selfish or unwise of me to not want Hatton used heavily this year with as many running backs as are available for us this year? I think that's one of the guys that could give us 2+ years of excellent production in a room that has been lacking in recent seasons before he goes pro. And I don't see a reason to start the wear and tear this early into his career. Well, I mean, the reason you start the wear and tear this early into his career is because he's ready to make a difference for Oklahoma as a true freshman. If he's the best option in Dylan McCullough's backfield, he's going to play. You have to win now before you worry about winning later, because all those coaches got jobs to keep. They care about winning this year more so than they care about winning next year. Preferably, ideally, it would be both. But in order to set the table for winning next year and beyond, you have to win this year. So if Jonathan Hatton's on the field in a substantial capacity for Oklahoma in 2026, I think certifiably that's a good thing.
Yes.
Like, that means you did get a dog in Hatton and somebody that is going to be able to elbow his way into a seat at the table with guys that have produced at the collegiate level before in Torrey Blaylock and Xavier Robinson and Lloyd Avant, etc. But also, going back to Hatton's recruitment, they told him, they were straight up with him, look, we're not going to overwork you. You're going to be in a committee at Oklahoma. We're going to keep tread on your tires. We're going to make sure that once you get to the NFL level, you're still pretty fresh. We're not going to give you 300 carries in a season. So Jonathan Hatton, I don't think, is ever going to be a workhorse at Oklahoma, and that's by design. It's not because he's not capable of it. It's because that doesn't jive with Oklahoma's vision for the backfield and his development as a football player. But could he be a guy that carries the ball 150, 180 times in a season at some point down the line? Sure he could.
And also, keep this in mind, too. The quicker he gets on the field and helps Oklahoma win ball games, it's the quicker he can get up out of here, too. Mm-hmm. So in terms of preserving tread on the tires for the NFL, if he performs in his role this year and then takes on the real bell cow role in year 2 and year 3, he's out of here in 3 years, if obviously that all goes to plan and he is the type of player that he is projected to be. So either way you slice it, he's still going to be all right for the long term, given that he doesn't have any catastrophic injuries.
He could be a 3-year guy. That potential is very much on the table. Seldom I offer that about a player. I mean, I think we've said that about Michael Fasusi and Cortland Guillory and maybe a couple others on Oklahoma's roster. Obviously, David Stone, Jaden Jackson in that category too. But Hatton is one of those rare breeds, man. One of those guys that you could very well see making the jump to the NFL level after 3 years at Oklahoma if things go a certain way. All right, one final segment to come here on Locked In. This is The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Stay with us. Hit us up on the text line, 405-651-3439. We'll be right back with more.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is The Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
The final Beats and Bites event of the summer is here. Celebrate a decade of delicious food, incredible live music, and unforgettable memories at Riverwind Casino. Don't miss the fun with Clay Walker, Thursday, September 3rd. With Terry Clark. Book your tickets online or at the box office for only $10.
At Alliance Bank, we believe in relationship banking. We don't want to just be your bank. We want to understand and assist with your goals. Whether you're starting a new business, purchasing a home, or simply want more convenience, Alliance Bank is here for you. We offer personalized solutions to meet your needs. I'm DJ Newsom with Alliance Bank, and we love to create a personalized banking experience for you or your business. Visit Alliance.bank or stop by our Norman location at University North Park. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For over 30 years, CertaPro Painters has been part of countless memories. Every wall tells a story, and we've been proud to help write them. We are more than just your local painters, with care, craftsmanship, and certainty. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home, beautifully painted and worry-free. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey, sports fans, you cheer on your kids on the field, now give them a chance to shine on stage. At the studio of the Sooner Theater, our school year performing art classes are open for ages 3 to adult. From musical theater to acting, jazz, tap, ballet, and hip-hop, and full-scale productions where your star can perform in the spotlight. Don't sit on the sidelines. Enroll now. Visit SoonerTheater.org or call 405-321-9600. The Sooner Theater, where every season is game day for the arts.
I'm State Farm Agent Julia Chu, and you already know our office is a place to turn for your insurance and financial needs. Now that place has changed to 701 Wall Street. While the location may have changed, the commitment of our team is as strong as ever. So whether you already know us or want the one-of-a-kind service offered by the Julia Chu Agency, call us at 329-3311 or come visit at our new location, 701 Wall Street, right on the corner of Boardwalk and Wall Street in Norman.
Hey Norman, Caitlin Braley here with 5 Iron Golf. Your new favorite hangout has arrived. 5 Iron Golf is now open in University North Park. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or just looking for a great night out, 5 Iron has it all. State-of-the-art golf simulators, lessons, Callaway club fittings, league nights, and a full food and bar menu. Join us for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. And best of all, you don't have to be a member to come in and enjoy the fun. Come experience 5 Iron Golf today, where great golf, great food, and great times come together. Call Norman 5 Iron Golf at 405-857-2253.
Dust off your boots and head to Busch Stadium for Country Music Night, Friday, August 28th. With the purchase of a special theme ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Country Music Night Cardinals t-shirt. Before first pitch, do the Boot Scoop Boogie at a pregame concert in Budweiser Terrace, featuring the Rough Riders. It's a home run hit of baseball and country music. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/theme.
This is Andre Palante. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. It's the sale you've been waiting for. This Saturday is our 6-hour, 60% off sale. Shop with us from 10 to 4 p.m. and save 60%. This is the time. Treat yourself or do some gift shopping and save big. We've chopped 60% off over 1,000 amazing pieces, and we're making room for new arrivals. So don't miss your chance to have the jewelry you want at a price you will love. Doors open at 10 a.m. this Saturday. Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
Here's another thing I've noticed in Arkansas over the years, Grayson, and that was apparent to me yesterday when I was in the natural state. Arkansas is the roundabout capital of the world. There are roundabouts everywhere in Arkansas.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, so like Arkansas is not my favorite state in the union, but they got a couple points with me with the roundabouts.
Really?
Oh, I love roundabouts.
See, here's the thing. I struggle to even, I struggle to figure out how I feel about roundabouts. Because, here's maybe the best way I can put it. Roundabouts are like socialism.
Huh?
Conceptually, the idea of the roundabout is flawless and utopian, right?
Yeah.
Conceptually, the roundabout is an amazing innovation. But then you take into account the human factor, and practically it winds up being a disaster every time. Because people actually have to drive the roundabout. Other people have to drive the roundabout. And here's what I experienced many a time yesterday in Arkansas, because I had to go through many roundabouts. The overwhelming majority of the human race really does not know how to drive. And that becomes more apparent than anywhere else when you're dealing with roundabouts.
You just found that out yesterday?
I'm reminded of it when I deal with roundabout traffic, because There's always somebody, always somebody that's like easing the nose of their car out too far into traffic, or they're gunning it and then jamming the brakes because they misread the situation, or they're holding everybody up because they're trying to change lanes because they realize too late that they can't keep going in the direction of where they want to go in the lane that they're in. People suck at driving roundabouts.
I love me some roundabouts.
Yes, I do too.
If I can avoid having a 7-car pileup, just waiting for a stop sign, and then, all right, we're going to go, and then they're going to go, and then we're going to go, and they're going to go, and it's added an unnecessary 5 minutes to my drive, right? Like, just do roundabouts. Everybody just fill in where there's a hole. No diddy, but, you know, like, just, you know, everybody just keeps cycle in and cycle back out and whatnot, and we're all good, man. And we're all good. But no, you're right. Like, I love roundabouts. I will never complain about a roundabout. Now, have I seen somebody ever get smoked in a roundabout? No. But I'm pretty sure that happens. But yes, the human element kind of ruins it a little bit. But I think roundabouts are awesome.
That boy, listen. That right there, that should be the entirety of a driving test. It's just, can you navigate a roundabout? In order to pass a driving test, you should just have to go through 10 roundabouts in a row and not screw up. Because if you can handle a roundabout, you can handle anything else that you will encounter on the road.
You can merge onto an interstate very easily. You just have to learn how to get up to the right speed.
A 405 listener correctly pointing out, most people don't even know how to use a four-way stop. Literacy is at an all-time low in American society. That is statistically true and proven to be the case. I don't know what statistics are out there as far as road literacy, if you could call it that. That has to be at an all-time low as well. Teddy just texted me.
Oh, no.
And said, you must at all costs avoid any situation in which you rely on the competency of others. You know?
Amen to that.
That's about as well as you can do to just distill it down to an immutable truth of human existence. You can't rely on other people.
But I think roundabouts are great.
Jojo in Tulsa says, who's tawdry today? Grayson out here talking about freak-offs. We've been in some wild places throughout the last hour. This show, man. A 405 listener says, as I listen to Parker talk about road literacy, I nearly get into a head-on collision because someone's trying to pass a car into oncoming traffic.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we deal with every single day, folks. Idiots abound. Idiots are everywhere. Spend any time out on the road, and you will be reminded of this.
I think TK Sooner had never heard the new version of No Homo.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with No Diddy, it gets said a lot on this show.
It kind of does. At least once a show.
More on this show than any other show.
Yeah, I would say.
Brian in Bigsby says, do you realize that everyone complains about everyone else's ability to drive, which means a large portion of society believes they can drive but objectively cannot? Oh, yeah, but again, that's just that's broader than driving. There's a significant percentage of society, there's a significant percentage of humans on Earth that think they're good at things that aren't actually good at things. I'm sure we fall into that category somewhere or another as well. I'm sure there are things that I think I'm good at or think I can hold my own at that the rest of the known world thinks I suck at. But come on. Learn to drive.
Driving is also different, though. Like, driving is not a uniform thing, right? Like, I drive differently here than I did in Texas. It is acceptable to drive here differently than it is in Texas. I was driving down I-35 earlier today. In the fast lane, somebody's over here going 55. You'd get honked and flipped off in Texas.
Driving in Texas is a whole adventure, man. Do state troopers exist in Texas? Because I swear everybody does 90 plus.
Oh yeah, they do. They just go 105.
All right, back to football. How about we wrap up talking some OU football? A 405 listener says they should run the power I more. As a former linebacker, it was much easier playing the spread than dealing with a bruising fullback and a big jackhammer tailback. That style of bloody-your-nose football wears you down. I would like to see it more on short yardage, then fake it and hit the deep post after everybody loads the box on short yardage. I don't know that we're ever going to get back there. You know, I posed the question in the first segment. You think the fullback is ever going to become a roster staple again? I don't know if we'll ever get back there. I mean, Oklahoma, they've hardly run snaps under center for the last 15 years.
Which is why everybody that keeps saying they're seeing John Mateer going under center in camp, I've always been of the mindset, I'll believe that when I see it.
Uh-huh. It's just the way the game's changed, man. 25 years ago, even when the air raid and spread offense were starting to take root, the overwhelming majority of offenses still operated primarily under center. Now most offenses operate out of the shotgun. And how do you incorporate a fullback into a shotgun offense? Are there programs or their coaching staffs that are going to be willing to scrap shotgun offense as their primary look offensively to go back to the old power I scheme or single back scheme?
I mean, would you have to implement more pistol in that regard?
Ah, the pistol. There was a brief little pistol era at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
The Landry days. Early 2010s. Those were years. I don't know that I would call them great years. I wouldn't call them terrible years. They were years. They were certainly years. Tattoo Baker said, Grayson, you ever heard of victory formation? Tattoo Baker just comes at you, man.
I know.
All day, every day.
You know what? Let's go ahead and go through Tattoo Baker's text today. Grayson, have you ever heard of victory formation? Oh gosh, I'm not reading that one. Grayson, what's your real deficiency? Which I still don't know what he meant by that. Grayson is the Michael Hawkins of K-Ref. Let's see, what else did he say? Shocker, Grayson took this question, doesn't know ball. This is going back into yesterday. Grayson likes Vegas because he watches a lot of CSI Vegas. Never watched that in my life. Let's see.
This man got an axe to grind.
Like, I know, like, I'm to the point where, like, I know he's trolling now, so which is why it's hilarious. But I was, like, so confused at, like, at first when I was like, what did I do to this dude? Do I know this guy tangentially some way?
I don't know. But every single day, as texts are flying in on the First Liberty Bank text line, inevitably, I see Tattoo Baker coming after you for something. It's never the same thing.
I feel like he has them, like, drafted out. And he's just going to
firing away.
And he's just going to fire away regardless of what's going on, because sometimes it has something to do with the content matter, sometimes not. I think he just has some that he's thought of, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to fire these off come 2:05.
TK Sooner said, what's funny is how great we've had it at H-back since 2003. Then all of a sudden that position is non-existent. Those were our versions of the fullback, the Runnels, Dillards, Flowers types. Millard, I think you mean, Trey Millard. Remember Carson Meyer? I think he had a decent 2018 season at Oklahoma when he and Jeremiah Hall were playing that role. Dimitri Flowers is always just going to be the essential H-back to me. In my mind, when I think of the H-back at the University of Oklahoma, Dimitri Flowers is always the guy that's going to come to mind. But yeah, the H-back really hasn't existed at Oklahoma since Jeremiah Hall graduated in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Lebby got to town as the OC in 2022, and the Sooners were running up-tempo, a lot of 10, 11 personnel stuff. And you did not see the H-back hardly at all anymore. I mean, they haven't rostered a true H-back since then.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Mikey Henderson. People forget, Mikey Henderson looked like the next great H-back at Oklahoma. And then he got dismissed from the program for running with the wrong crowd, i.e. Trajan Bridges and Seth McGowan.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a good way to put it.
I don't know what happened to Mikey Henderson. What became of Mikey Henderson?
Here's all you need to know about the status of the fullback going forward. Teams put nose tackles in at fullbacks on the goal line. So people don't really want to use a roster spot on a fullback. They're like, okay, we could just use another big body situationally when it comes up. I think that tells you a lot about the fullback's future, especially in college.
I would like to see the fullback make a return. I miss those days. Mike Allstott, one of my favorite football players of all time. Great Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
How old were you when Mike Allstott was playing?
6, 7.
Huh.
I mean, I was young.
I was about to say, like, there's no way you remember Mike Allstott that much.
All right, folks, we're done here on Locked In. The Rush is coming up next, so you shouldn't go anywhere. Much more OU camp talk, sports talk on deck throughout the afternoon. I have no doubt. I had to check myself. I was going to say OU football talk, and I was like, OU basketball made the splash of the day in the transfer portal with Duke Brennan. I have no doubt that'll be a topic of conversation coming up on the Rush as well. So, until tomorrow, we bid you adieu. For Grayson Singleton, I am Parker Thune. Keep it here on the Ref, the home of Sooner fans.